Alright, welcome back. So today we're going to fix all the damage from me out bashing with Raphael this past weekend. As we know, if you watch the videos, the Big Rock 6S broke a shock rod end. So we're going to go ahead, get this part put on, ARA 330608. That should be the part. And we also ruined Electron Pro battery in the Outcast 4S. So went ahead and picked up some standard 4S battery straps for $5. Part number 150243. We're going to get these installed, and then this 4S pack, brand new pack, we're going to go ahead, cut off the end and put on some EC5s. That seemed to be the most damage. As you see, they're $92.99 each for these Electron Pros, almost $100 just to fix the Outcast because of the poor battery straps. But we'll get into that right after we do this. We should be able to fix both of these in this one video. If that's something you want to see, stay tuned. We're going to go ahead and just fix my temporary zip tied, adjusting the grub screw, the droop screw up so it would stay in place so I can finish out the battery pack. The mirror, we're going to glue this back in so that this doesn't fall off again. And the way it looks like just the sticker is holding all this on. I'm going to go ahead and glue that real quick so that it has a chance to dry, which is the blinker. We're going to go ahead and get this set back in here. This is why I always check the scene of the crime. But the impact literally knocked off the reflector. So we're going to go ahead and get into that. So we're going to get our zip tie cut out of there. This was just a temporary fix to finish out the day. Just a couple of small zip ties to hold it down in there. Kind of a unique deal the way Arrma has this. Just loosen that grub screw. I'm going to go ahead and pull the pin. And that piece is still in there. So I don't even think I'm going to pull it off on the other end. We're just going to go ahead and pop this piece off. Take this off. I'm going to go ahead and get our shock pliers. So it's just some TLR shock pliers. We're going to go ahead and just unscrew this. There's our broken little piece, which that piece is supposed to sit in there. $14. You got to buy, basically this is for 2 shocks, or no, this is for 4 shocks. So you got to buy enough for 4 shocks. And what sucks is they don't come with the little plastic piece that needs to be in there. So we're going to go ahead and pop that little piece in there like that. Kind of shocked that they don't come with that. There we go. No thread showing. Gonna go ahead and put on a new cap as well. Even though I think the old cap is still good, but it did pop out. Actually, it needs to go up because I got to get this cap in there. we go. And we're going to go ahead and get our pin put in here. And tighten our screw down. Quick, easy fix if you have the parts. You can't carry every part, but a shock rod end with an Arrma on a 6S is something you probably should carry. We're just going to check, and then we're going to go ahead check our droop screws. Just grabbing a pick to get the dirt out of the droop screw. Just going to give them a couple turns. Just so they're not putting all that pressure on the shock. And that's it. This repair is done. Now we're going to go ahead and grab the Outcast 4S. We're going to start on that one. Alright, so now we got the Outcast 4S 2.5. This one, all that happened to this is the battery straps wouldn't hold the battery and it destroyed a battery. So I do carry female and male IC5s. I don't suggest the blue ones. The orange ones from Spectrum, they lock in the best. Those blue connectors, they are cheaper, but as you saw in the video, Raphael had to keep plugging in his batteries to the ESC, and that's because the battery ends had the blue ones on it, which I believe are the IC5s versus, or the EC5s versus the IC5s. The EC5s I believe are the blue ones, and they don't lock in that well. So these orange ones definitely are the way to go. They're not cheap. You know, I buy them in bulk. There's 25 pieces and they're 60 bucks, as you see, for a package. So 25 of the females, 25 of the males. Just something good to have on hand. We might just steal this one. It hasn't broke the end yet, and we'll stick this onto this battery. So we're going to get this soldered up as well. Definitely save your battery ends. They'll save you money in the long run. We're going to go ahead and get these straps put on. $5 for some straps. 4S battery straps, 2-piece, $5. Maverick. Local hobby store had these. Robin's Hobby, shout out Robin's Hobby. They had everything I needed to get both my rigs fixed up. I drove down to them because my hobby shop, they don't carry these Electron Pros. Robin's Hobby in Glendale, California carries these, and I like this softback. So let's get into it. Alright, so let's get into this. Really liked this wire holder when I first saw it. Alright, get the wires out of the way. This looks like it's going to be hard to get this back in here. But we'll see. So there we go. They are about the same length. Oh, there's a slot underneath as well. Alright. Now, gotta go out to this. There we go. Alright, that's not so bad. Alright, the other strap. And then pop that out. Screw back in. Grab a battery. I should get rid of all this and just put one 4S connector on there. Then like this. Or I can just get rid of that, put one connector on there, which is probably what I'm going to do. And let's get to cutting and soldering. We'll be right back. Alright, now we're going to get this battery soldered up. So the round side, female, is battery end. So round side is ground, flat side is power. Just pre-tinning the wires, making sure we get solder inside the connection. Make sure you put on your cap. You want to apply the solder to the wire, not your iron. If you have to keep putting it on the iron, your iron's not hot enough. I'm going to somewhat line this up so that I can push this in here, but we're going to pre-tin, put some solder into our connector, and I plug in the other battery in so the terminals don't move, because heating them up into plastic, they tend to move around. So you want to fill that up with some solder. Then we're going to take our wire while it's hot and we'll put our wire into it. Make sure you get a solid connection. Let it cool. Once it cools, we can go ahead and flip our connector over. We're going to do the other one. Put a little solder on there to make a better connection. When I say pre-tinning, that's what that is. Now we're going to leave it for a minute and heat up our wire, because you don't want a cold joint. Then let it cool. There we go. Checking, just making sure. I'm going to snap our cap on. The battery's done. Female for battery. Making sure positive, negative. And this one has the little wire, which we'll go ahead and attach. So I'm going to make it come down a little bit because I'm going to cut this off. Here's our positive, and then this one should have our negative. So I'm going to cut this down a little bit because there's too much wire here. Positive. A little wire. This one, we're going to get rid of the little wire. They just soldered to the same spot. So this way I know my power has the gray wire on it. My negative will not. Positive. And then our little wire, which we'll strip down a little bit. I'll put the black in later, just so I know that this is positive. Pre-tin that. Cool. And now we're going to do our ground. Make sure you get the wire hot. And then the other thing I check is to make sure nothing is touching your little wire. Make sure you didn't have solder drip down in here. And then we're going to go ahead and pop on our cap. There we go. And we'll plug it in and make sure there's no smoke. No receiver, so it's flashing red, but it doesn't smoke. But our button's broken. Not only pliers handy, so that you don't have to burn your hands, but make sure that your wire's in line with whatever you're soldering, that there's no resistance to where something is pulling on something. Much better. Short connector. There we go. Nice and clean. And we could turn the battery around and plug it in from the other direction, but I might just zip tie this connection right here like this, That way everything is secure. And I leave these little tethers to pull up on the battery. But there we go. So all the repairs from all the damage that happened, bashing as hard as we bashed, it's all done. So broken piece, battery strap, and the damaged battery. That was a $212 day out bashing, and if you're going to bash that hard, expect repairs. But there we go. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching.